it's Latea.
Yes,
Hey,
ma'am.
yeah.
Understand that, because I hate for anybody to call me Muriel when it's Marielle. You know,
Maria.
get it
Okay.
right.
Yes.
Hey, Lucia, how you doing?
Hey, good evening. How are you?
I'm trying my best.
Okay. That's what one day at a time.
Yep.
Come on,
Hey,
Millie. Come on, Millie.
Hey,
I'm coming. I had to get me something to eat. Come on, Millie.
How
hey,
you
Bobby,
doing?
can you mute it? Can you mute it for like a minute and then start?
Gotcha. All right.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Miss Nikki, how you doing?
That's your wife's voice.
Oh, I saw. Hey,
Now, that's a shame. That's a shame.
well, y'all
First
sound
cousin.
alike, okay? Don't get me caught up. Not tonight. Mute. I'm a mute.
Hey, DeAndre.
How you doing?
Good.
Good is good. Good is good.
Hey, I'm trying to mute to keep talking, so we're gonna go ahead and roll with it. All right, here we go. Welcome, 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 welcome everyone to Upscale Love for You. This is your host, your favorite first cousin, Bobby G, and I'm coming to you live again from Jacksonville, Florida. We want to thank everyone for coming on tonight. And man, we have a great show lined up for you tonight. The number one question we have been asked is, what is Upscale Love for You and what is it all about? Upscale Love for You has been formatted to entertain, educate, and facilitate self-help, self-love, and everything you want or wish to know about love, relationships, dating, marriage, etc. Upscale Love for You often uncovers hot topics and sensitive issues, from tales of singledom to parenting struggles and everything in between. So whether you're looking for a direction or looking for ways to pass the time, or just looking for a good conversation, Upscale Love for You is here. And with that being said, I would like to introduce the people that has made this possible to bring Upscale Love for You to you. I want to say the one that's on fire. She hot as fire. The wonderful, the lovely, the vivacious, the glamorous, the boombastic, the glowmatic, Miss Mariel Bacon. Dr. Fabulous, come on and talk to us.
Good evening, everyone. I tell you, my co-host, he is so, he on it. When he give me all those descriptives, I'm like, that's it. That's it. Keep it going. Keep it coming. But nevertheless, I would like to welcome each and every one of you here this evening, because Upscale Love for You is for you. And I thank you all for coming this evening. And I'm going to turn it back over to my favorite first cousin, Bobby G.
All right, thank you, Dr. Fabulous. And next, I want to introduce my brother from another mother with the voice like no other, Dr. Feelgood. Come on and talk to us.
Hey, ladies and gents, it's Dr. Feelgood, the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice. And of course, I'm fancy like a Rolls Royce. This Thursday is going to be a wonderful day, so I just wanted to keep it going that way. And the rhyming is always on time. And so back to you, first cuz.
All right, Dr. Feelgood. Everyone, thank you so much for logging on with us tonight and enjoying your evening with us tonight. A couple things we want to ask you to do. First, we want to ask that you raise your hand. Once a question is posed, and if you want to chime in and give your opinion, we ask that you raise your hand so we can call on you. Secondly, please take the time to go to YouTube. Upscale Love, the number 4, the letter U. Upscale Love, the number 4, the letter U, all one word. Look us up on YouTube and check us out. At any point in time, you can see any of the videos that we've done in the past. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so we can continue to have life and Upscale Love for You. At this point in time, we're going to switch things up a little bit. Dr. Feelgood.
I'm ready.
All right, we're talking about open relationships, and Dr. Feelgood is going to be the expert on call that's going to give us all the information we need to know. Dr. Feelgood, I am passing the mic to you. Come on and talk to us.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Dr. Feelgood with the Feel Good prescription for Thursday night. What is an open relationship? Well, the definition is an open relationship falls under a larger category of consensually non-monogamous relationships. They're relationships in which one or both partners can pursue sex and sometimes emotional attachments with other people. Open relationships differ from swinging in that it's more of a permanent, a temporary to permanent situation, while swinging does hey, we meet at an event. What happens there stays there. So while swingers tend to keep their outside relationships to the realm of sex and others that with other established couples, polyamory is all about having multiple committed romantic partners. People in open relationships can usually have sex with who they feel attracted to, with the caveat that these other relationships remain casual. In other words, you can have sex with whoever you want, but not pursuing intimate, committed relationship with other partners. Well, saying that, if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. Cousin Bobby, just let me know because I'm on two different screens. So I want to make sure that I don't miss anybody.
I got you.
But okay, who chooses an open relationship? Let's take a look at that. Well, since there's still a lot of stigma about non-monogamy, and talking about non-monogamy, do you know can anybody tell me when the first instance of monogamy was in the Bible? Since most of us here were Christians, have some Christian background, when was the first case? When was monogamy first introduced? Anybody?
Adam and Eve.
I'll
No.
take a shot at that.
Go ahead.
Maybe it was when Abraham told Sarah to let what's her name? His
Hagar.
helpmate come in. Hagar, yes.
You said non-monogamy. My bad.
Oh,
No. I meant monogamy.
Right.
Monogamy.
When Abraham told Sarah to let his servant come in and not Abraham.
That's non-monogamy. That's more of the hand. You talking about Hagar was a handmaiden who Sarai at the time didn't think she was going to bond and be able to bear children because she was already 85. So she allowed her handservant Hagar to sleep with Abram, and then they had a son, Ishmael.
Exactly. Look at that, boy. You know the Bible. That's not the first example, though, right?
No, the first example of monogamy, meaning one person.
Oh, one person. Adam and Eve, she said.
Adam.
But that was, see, that's the thing though. That it wasn't described as monogamy.
I'm sorry.
Right. It wasn't described as monogamy. Monogamy was first described in the epistles.
Oh.
A man should have one. It talks about the qualifications of being a deacon.
A man should have only one wife.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So even in ancient times, monogamy was not pushed hard because men had more than one wife. Because if you think about it, they sat down and they fought a lot. All those wars. So what was the biggest commodity? Men. You needed men to fight wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the man died,
and to do the building, heavy work.
There's no man to take care of their wife or their children. So another man would step up and take the wife. The brother would usually take the wife, have children with that wife, and then they have more children. And the cycle continues. Well, this was the first instance of family planning. The Roman Empire was tired of fighting the Israelites / Jews in the Jerusalem area because they still practice polyamory. They still did their traditions. So the word was this hasn't been proved. The theory was that they created monogamy to slow down the population growth and keep the Jews manageable throughout Judea. So after over hundreds of years, it just stuck. One man, one woman, one man, one woman, one man, one woman, one man, one woman. When it wasn't actually the case. Now today, you can make that case where it's stigmatized because we changed it. We changed a lot of things within and interpreted the words a little differently. Because monogamy wasn't really, really big, like I said, until it got in the European, because even the Vikings had multiple wives. The German tribes had multiple wives. Genghis Khan. Everybody heard of Genghis Khan, right? His DNA is almost in a quarter of the population today. He lived over almost 1,000 years ago. So that should tell you it's not something that we practice, but we have it, and it's the stigma, and we want to open it up and give everybody an understanding of what we're looking at, because we want to make sure that everybody's on the same sheet, at least for this discussion. Now you can go look into this, you can look for your own stuff, but what we're giving tonight is everybody's on the same sheet of music. Now, I described that. Now, what are other names for open relationships? One name is consensual non-monogamy, meaning, Anson, I already know your answer because you don't like to share, but that means it's an understanding between a couple, who the core couple, saying, hey, I can't meet all your needs. You can't meet all my needs. If we need to scratch an itch, you go and do your thing. Now, whether you tell that person or not, you probably want to tell because you want to be transparent. But some things you just be like, hey, this ain't happening with you right now. I'm gonna go do my thing and I'll be back. Because the core piece is that relationship between partners A and B. So that's why it's a little different. Now, polygamy is referring to having more than one spouse at a time. Polygyny is having more than one husband at a time. Yes, you can have more. Legally, you can't do that in the United States or in Europe. But what people are doing here, y'all heard the term sister wives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sister wives, they have a main couple, the husband and wife, and their sister wife, it has a ceremonial marriage. It's a ceremony, but it's not recognized in legal court. Now the issue becomes when anybody heard of Warren Jeffs?
Never.
And the Fundamental Latter-day Saints Church?
Yeah.
Warren Jeff was an avowed polygamist. He didn't get arrested for having 14 wives. He got arrested for welfare fraud.
Couldn't take care of all those children.
Not that, because they didn't name him, they didn't put him on the birth certificate. And they were getting, he had like 60 children.
Ooh.
So when they got the aid, they were basically committing fraud. And that's what they threw him in jail for. Not for having so many wives, but defrauding the government.
Gotcha.
So, but those are things, and polygamy is much more common than polygyny. Because like people like Anson, I ain't sharing nothing.
Mine, all of it.
Signs. Here are the signs that an open relationship is a problem. When you have the two people, your base couple, it could be same-sex couples. Don't make no mistake about it. It's not gender specific. I just use base couple as a starting point. One or more partners become jealous or uncomfortable. Initially, one partner might be all in, and one partner may be like, I'll try this once, and then they don't like it, but the other partner likes it. So then that's when you start pulling away, because then you have jealousies and envies, and you feel uncomfortable. One partner is not on board with the arrangement. How many times have you heard of, yeah, I'm a swinger, but my wife ain't? Hey, she's married, but I ain't. Stuff like that. And the marriage or partnership is strained or no longer happy. Hey, we can't be doing this all the time. We get this. We're in this situation. How do we, we're not trying to fix us. Because if we ain't right, then everything else ain't going to be right. Am I right?
That's right.
And one partner becomes dishonest or secretive. That's where I think Trisha talked about it about 3 weeks ago, about the difference between being honest and being transparent. You could tell the truth, but not be totally transparent. Yeah, we didn't, I'm not having a relationship with that man, or I'm not having a relationship with that woman. We're just having sex. That's it, in your mind, but that your partner has to understand what that is. Because if they don't, then guess what that is? That's not transparency. That's something that you're trying to hide. If you're trying to hide it, then you're gonna definitely have a problem. And boundaries are crossed. You know, Aunt's gonna be like, "Hey, you look like a dude. You can't come in here. No, bye."
I don't need no cheerleader.
She said, "But I like another dude." No, there ain't no dudes in here. Not in my house. But the biggest thing is that both the base couple have to agree about it and understand that they're going to be a dynamic on how you get these things, and clearly discuss what you expect, your expectation, your expectations, your understanding of what's going on. And, you know, if you're not cool with it, you got to be upfront with that. And say, hey, I will give it a chance. If I don't like it, I'm pulling back. Is, you know, we need to agree on that. Communication and agreement with couples. How many times have we argued something over something that because we miscommunicated something? Now imagine if you put other people into it.
Right.
So it's important that you discuss everything. It's going to be uncomfortable because nobody want to talk about that. Nobody want to hear my partner see something that they like. Nobody wants to hear that. Come on, I'm keeping a buck. But you got to understand is that when you're together, it becomes less about you and more about us, nosotros. So that's the importance of discussing things, because a lot of times a lot of us break up because we refuse to compromise, or we refuse to even let the problem be discussed. So I see people's eyes glazing over, so I move on. Now there's seven different types of non-monogamy. There's cheating. I don't need to discuss cheating because guess what? Everybody in here know what cheating is. Now,
Dr. Feelgood got
Yeah.
a question since you brought up cheating.
Go ahead.
You're right. I do believe that everyone understands what cheating is, but I think the real question is, why do people cheat?
Because they feel they're not getting what they need in that relationship. And instead of going to their partner and explaining and articulating, they go behind their back. There's the element, and it doesn't have to have, it has absolutely nothing to do with sex. Nothing. Because if I call Dr. Fab and I got a lady and I'm talking to Dr. Fab about my problems with my lady, that's emotional cheating. Am I right? Any disagreements on that?
I think that's one perspective.
No,
that's one way of looking at it.
Because I'm just saying it's something that you're withholding from your partner.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that you're withholding from your partner that you either can't discuss or won't discuss to get some need or some want, in most cases, met.
Okay.
So there's emotional cheating, there's spiritual cheating, and of course there's the physical cheating. The physical cheating is the one we usually concentrate on, but we don't talk enough about emotional and spiritual cheating. You may not. Go ahead.
Okay, you got three hands raised. Let's get some opinions from.
Let's go with Mr. Mathis, then Dr. Fab, then Latea. See, I said it right.
My opinion on that, I feel like some people cheat before the relationship starts because they don't go into the relationship with intentions on being committed. So by doing that, even though they haven't cheated physically yet, they're bound to do it when the opportunity presents itself. So if you don't commit in the beginning, then you're already going in with bad intentions.
Right. But are you, here's the question to you, Mr. Mathis. If you're going into that thing like that, then why even get into a relationship?
Some people do stuff just to do stuff. I'm the type, I date to be married one day. I don't just get in relationships just because it's something to do. So people, their intentions of getting in a relationship because it's something to do. If it's not long term, why be in a relationship with somebody if you don't see them potentially being your wife? Some people just do it just to do it.
Understandable. Understand. And Dr. Fab, you disagree, agree?
Well, you can look at that in different ways, because if you're doing it just to do it, because some people, last week, I asked a question about, in a relationship, are you in there long term, looking for long term or friendship, or if you're just there for sex? And many guys replied they were there just for sex. So I feel like sometimes when they're in this situation, they just get in it just for the sex purposes and no full commitment to anything. That's what I'm thinking.
Can I jump in on that?
You sure can, Travis.
Hold on, you got others with the hands.
I got Miss Latea first before Mr. Travis. Just quickly, Miss Latea.
Hi, so I believe in energy, and I believe that energy can never be lost. It can only be transferred. So when you are dealing with multiple energies of people, you're taking that in. You ever realize, like, when you're talking to somebody, why you feel so drained? It may not be that person, but in a poly relationship, like, there's so many energies moving around that, you know, we tend to take that on. At least I do. When it comes to cheating and things like that, I don't believe in cheating. Most people, and I read this from, well, not read it, but I saw it on the Tyler Perry movie, Why Did I Get Married? You know, in a relationship, you're only going to get 80% of, you know, what you're really looking for. A lot of people cheat because they're not getting that additional 20%. So that 20% that you're missing looks really good because you're like, oh, I get to have both, you know, I get to have my cake and eat it too. And that's not necessarily the case, because, well, how I feel is like you meet people where they are. And so before you even get married, you should be having these conversations on finances, on spirituality, on your values. Because if you get into a marriage or you jump into a relationship without understanding that person and their core values, and then you bring a baby along, then that's where there's divorces and so many, you know, breakups and things like that. So that's my stance.
Okay. Back to Mr. Travis. You wanted to complete that thought?
Yes, real quick. I don't believe in cheating either. And I think the primary reason people would cheat is because they lack self-discipline and moral values, bottom line.
You know what? I agree with that point. We all at some point lack self-discipline. That's why, you know, I always tell people, I said, I ain't fat because I eat too much. I said, I ain't broke, I ain't poor because I ain't got no money. There's something behind that, a lack of discipline within me to fix my problems. We have that, we have this pandemic of not COVID, I'm talking unmarried pregnancies, kids out of wedlock. You know, we as a community, and I know we're not a monolith, but we are a community, need to practice more self-discipline. Miss Marlena, go ahead. I'm sorry, I had to expound.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I agree with my cousin Travis. I feel like people cheat either because they're bored, they want something new. For women, we might feel unappreciative, or just the whole respect thing. I think that's why.
And that's the thing, is that, am I responsible for you being bored, for exciting you? You should have the discipline. And this is, and not to say I agree or disagree with you, but shouldn't you have the discipline to not go around, you know, sticking your thing in somebody else's thing without discussing it, or you having secret. My issue was I had secret buttons. I wouldn't tell you what was wrong. I just go do something. I'm just hurting other people like that.
Correct.
So go ahead, Miss Millie. You got to unmute yourself, Miss Millie.
Okay, got it. I'm sorry. I think that with cheating, a lot of time it's not necessarily so that people cheat because they're not happy. Some people just in their lifetime, they have just cheated so much, that's all they know. and it become habit. Anytime you repeat something after so many times, when it become habit, until that right person come along, and then that will allow you to focus on that person so much that you don't have time to cheat. But it have to be within yourself in order not to cheat. It's never about another person. Usually, in most cases, when people cheat, it's because they choose to, not because they're unhappy or this or that. It's because something's within themselves caused them to cheat. That's
Okay.
my
Okay.
Okay, hey, can I interject real quick?
Go ahead.
The topic of the night is open relationships, and we've kind of shifted a little bit and started talking more about cheating. Dr. Feelgood was giving us the history and background about open relationships, and some of those examples were polyamorous relationships, polygamy, so forth and so on. So can we, Dr. Feelgood, can we just go ahead and focus on the what I think what people are waiting to hear about is the open relationship, because we have some specific questions.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes. I mean, what cheating is considered in the definition, cheating is considered part of being in an open relationship.
Right.
It's just open one part. Now the next part, of course, is polygamy, polyamory, and it's predates monogamy. Like I said, cultures throughout the world long practice polygamy, a form of marriage consisting of more than two persons. Like I said, you have your base couple, and then you have others. Some have multiple wives, some have multiple husbands, and each one of the wives may be sexually exclusive to that husband, but each husband may not be sexually exclusive to that wife. In parts of the Middle East and Africa, you have polygyny, more than one husband. And then you have polyandry, which is similar to polygyny, but it's more of a free for all, and it's far more rare, and it's more stigmatized than polygamy. Believe you me, because people have a problem with women women being with more than one guy, and that's we're hardwired that way. We gotta really think. Open relationships are varied enough to be an umbrella term unto itself. Now there's some dynamics. I'll cover a couple. Go ahead, Dr. Fab. You got a question?
I'm so sorry, but you said that in this, you could have two husbands or two wives. And that my question that I have is, if a partner uses the same sex partner in this open relationship scenario, does that make them gay? Like when they're, I'm trying to figure this thing out.
No. That's a tough question. I can only guess at that. It's let's see. They could be bisexual. It could be bisexual, but if the homosexuality is exclusively same sex.
Okay, but no, I'm saying you have an open marriage or whatever, and then they bring someone else in the bedroom, say for example, one woman and two men, and
Right.
It gets hot and heated, and then the two men begin to enjoy one another. Does that make them gay? But you say you don't know. That would be considered bisexual?
Yes, because there's still a woman in the picture. There's still a woman in the picture. Now, usually men don't be touching
Yeah,
men
that's
like
what
that.
I'm saying, because I just feel
Usually.
like if they interact in that act, that would make them gay to me. If two
And that's
you know.
right, but that's what I'm saying is that yes, it's more stigmatized than two women doing that. It's much more stigmatized. That's but that doesn't mean they can't be bisexual, because the prevailing thought is men can't be bisexual, but women can, which in reality doesn't make sense, because that's.
So you would say, so you wouldn't automatically say they were gay?
No, I would not automatically say they were gay.
Okay.
I'd say if they were exclusive with men and there was no women in the picture, that's a no-brainer.
Right.
But if a guy enjoys being with the man and being with the woman, that's what they are. I'm not the bedroom. This is Dr. Feelgood. I am not the bedroom police. Now that's not something that I would do. And I'm sure 90% of the men in here would say the same thing. That ain't gonna happen. No man touching a man. But I'm not gonna.
So
I'm
why
not
is it
gonna.
okay when you all say you would love to have two women at one time? But
But
that's
that's what I'm saying. No, that it is a double. It is a double standard. And that's what I'm saying. It's more stigmatized when men do that than it is with women in that regard.
Okay.
And like I said, men usually ain't gonna touch another man and in his boy parts.
Dr. Feelgood, I'm sorry. And normally we agree on what we agree on, and maybe it's based on our experiences, but I have to interject on this one here. And I'm not here to say if you're gay, you're bad, or if you're lesbian, you're bad, or anything like that. But how I grew up in my understanding, no matter if it's two men in a room with one woman and they get tired of the woman and the two men are doing stuff with each other, that's gay. That's my understanding of it. And this is not to knock whatever lifestyle you live in. That's just my definition, my understanding of it. Now, you can add the woman to that and you can say, okay, they're bisexual, they're this, and then you can put a twist on it and the new way things with the younger generation and all this other stuff. But from my understanding, my generation, if two men are in the bed doing it because they got tired of dealing with the woman, that makes them gay.
Thank you.
And we came from the same. And I understand we came from the same area, but I'm just saying it's a double standard and a stigmatized more for men. That's just, like I said, we're hardwired that way. And like you said, Dr. Fabulous, I'm not knocking how you feel. I'm not knocking how you feel.
I just asked the question.
I'm just saying that we treat it as different than when two women, which is not fair. But there's just some double standards that we're not progressive enough to even deal with. Maybe our children and our children's children, but I mean, I'm just saying. Continuing on, an open relationship. I touched on open relationship earlier, but the thing is, the key is that you have dynamics. You have the traditional one is what's called FMF, where the middle initial is the hinge, and the outer two are the other part of the triad. FMF is a male with two women. Now, there is also could be a FFM, where the hinge is a female, has a male partner and a female partner, and the female partners don't really associate with each other in that regard. Then you have more rarely, but you have MFM, where going back to what we were talking about in the last thing, they might not touch each other, but they have the relationship with the woman. And I read an article a few years ago that majority of women, you ain't gotta admit it, ain't none of my business. Women have some sort of fantasy about more than one guy, but not in the way us guys would think about it. And when I say that, I'm talking vaginal, anal, vaginal, oral, anal, oral. That's not exactly what women necessarily want. Maybe a woman wants a guy to perform cunnilingus while the other guy's sucking the breast. But, just to have the attention on her, knowing that and that is a dynamic.
You got three with the hands raised.
Okay, who's first?
Moto G Stylist J.
Okay, go Moto G.
Okay, can you hear?
Yes, who's it?
That's JJ.
Okay, go ahead, JJ.
You just muted yourself, JJ.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. With that being said, with the man and woman, I agree with Brother Jeter. If you're a real man, and I've been locked up too, so let me go there too. If you're a real man and you about women, even though it's one woman in the room and it's two men, two real men is not touching each other. If the woman stop, we stop. We ain't got no discussion. Now, with that being with those type of relationships, the big issue is you have to be honest. See, people, when you get into, like me, I love them, but you have to be honest because it's not only your health, it's everybody else's health. It's everybody else, as you say, morals and all of that good stuff. But it's so ironic how you said society has bisexual as not men, but as women. Listen, the bottom line is if you like men, you like men. If you like women, you like women. There's no such thing as one is different than the other. However, you do have men out here that I'm cool with my sexuality. I love women, period. So if there's another man in the room and we doing whatever, hey, listen, the only time I'm gonna be looking at your opinions in the process of us doing what we doing. We ain't having no conversation of who got the biggest dick and we sitting on the bed naked. That's not a that's not a man's story.
Hey, bro, you ain't getting no arguments. You ain't getting no arguments there. I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for most of the men in here. Say we all on that page. I was just being, I was just taking a step back, saying that, what we don't understand, these young kids are doing different things. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Next person.
Yes. Good.
Next person. Miss Levita.
Hi, everyone. I'm listening to the call, and it just seems like we've gotten off topic, and we're talking more about sexuality instead of just open relationships. And in my mind, I'm thinking open relationships is when you're in a relationship and those two people agree to see other people, have sex with other people. I mean, what comes to my mind is like Jada and Will Smith. I mean, we've all heard them in the tabloids talking about their open relationships and how they've dealt with it. I don't know if it's because they find deficiencies within each other and they've okayed it to go outside of the confines of the relationship to, I guess, be whole or get whatever they're missing. So hold on. And then
Miss Levita, no, you're right. That's we did got to go off track. I was trying to bring us back in, and exactly what you said is what I described in the very beginning.
Yeah, because I had a question about swingers because I think that was one of the things.
I was just about to talk. See,
yeah,
you got my notes. You must have my notes.
I must be in your head. I must be in your head.
All right, I was going to talk about swinger, and that's kind of where I was going, and because I know I don't want to monopolize this time. I gotta get the incredibly fiery Dr. Fab up. I'm gonna get you up, Dr. Fab. Just give me a minute. Swinging, among the most recognized international and intentional forms of non-monogamy, is swinging. Swinging is best known as the most popular, most broadly. Swinging involves committed couples. Note that word, committed couples, consensually exchanging partners, especially for sexual purposes. It's tremendously diverse, ranging from brief interactions, hey, you want to F my wife, to going to sex parties. You have multiple couples, they do soft swaps, hard swaps, full swaps, and you have all in all out that probably happens. I've heard of it, never seen it, where they have orgies, kind of like what they did in ancient Rome. It begun a lot of times. They have clubs and groups. A lot of times, what happened is at the end of World War II, U.S. Air Force pilots. Imagine that. Anybody in here Air Force? See, it had to be the Air Forces because they ain't a real service anyway. But I digress. They would do what's called wife swapping, Remember the show a few years ago, White Swap? They would do that for real. They have what's called fishbowl parties. They go to a hotel, put all the keys in the fishbowl, and you pick a room and you go to the room with that person's wife or that person's husband. They've been doing that for years. Now it's you got clubs that do that.
Right.
It's generally hetero focused. But it's generally hetero focused. Swingers have a reputation for being much open to girl on girl, and and kind of if you're a single male, you kind of on the outside looking in. A lot of them say, "Hey, you got to bring a woman to get a woman."
Okay, well, Dr. Feelgood, let me ask you this. Do you think that an open relationship is the same thing as being a swinger? And what is the comparison of the two?
It's open couples sometimes swing, but they're mostly having different types of relationships. Swinging, if you wanna look at a big difference, swinging is more of an organized activity, ranging from a small group to a big place. Like remember a few weeks ago I talked about the trapeze. That's a swinger.
That was you and Marianne.
Yeah, that was what swingers do. Open relationship is, you and I go to the club, you pick up somebody, go home, do your thing, come back, and then we go home together.
They're different. I got a membership in a swingers club. That's not how it goes.
No. I'm saying that, but that she wanted to know the difference between open relationship and a swingers club.
Open relationship and swingers meeting with the first lady that says, to get back on topic, she said open relationship is you and your partner agreeing, which y'all can see other people. In a swingers club, that's not how it goes. And men can go. It's just a different price.
No, trust me, I know.
All right, a swingers club, there's no such thing as you walking out and going to somebody's house. There's no such thing as communication after the club. There's no such thing.
Right. No, but that's what I'm saying. I was trying to explain the difference in an open relationship. My wife and I, or my girlfriend and I, or we go to different places and do different things. Or we could go to the same club. We can go to the same place. And she sees somebody she likes, she picks them up, she goes somewhere with them. She comes back, or I meet her at the house, and that's what we do. Or I do the same thing. Like you said you had the swinger thing down perfect. It's a temporary thing. It's pretty much in a contained environment, and what goes on in there stays in there.
Okay.
Now, the last one I got is relationship anarchy. This means that, yeah, we're together, but we're gonna do what we're gonna do. And everything is on the table. Now, does it work? I have no idea, because I don't think I could do that. I don't think I can do that. But it's basically no rules. We are together, but we ain't together. And that's it.
Question. You just said, if your wife, she go pick up somebody and she bring her back to the house, right? And
right.
And you do the same. But now in anarchy, you say you can't do it. Here's the question you might
No. I said anything goes.
Anything goes. But here it is. If she goes to the club and pick up some, that's anything goes. Right? What you think so? Now, when it's vice versa, here it is. If my partner is open with me, right? I mean, we got everything on the table. There's no such thing as 50-50. It's 100. But here it is. If you're going to do it, let me know. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to let you know. Because at the end of the day, because we're trying to have fun, we also have to watch out for our health. We also have to watch out with the people that we're dealing with. And everybody's business ain't everybody's business.
You're right.
And I'm going to leave it like that.
You're right. And it's the difference is I'm looking at it now. The difference is in a relationship anarchy is that we're not, a lot of couples have done this. What are we? what are we? Are we in a relationship? Are we friends with benefits? I get rid of all that conventional stuff. I'm just going to do me. I'm just going to do me. You do you. We together, but we ain't together. And the important thing is that it's resistance on placing demands on your partner. What you were saying is right. In an open relationship, hey, you might do something, but we're gonna talk about it because we both have a vested interest in what's going on. And that's kind of where it's, it goes back to communication and really describing what exactly you want and what do you expect. Okay, I got 3 hands up. Cousin Bob, who got it up first?
Marlena's up.
Go ahead, Marlena. Go ahead. You got to unmute.
Okay, go ahead. Move on to Anson.
Go ahead, Anson.
Yeah, I've had a lot I want to say about everything that's been said, but when it all boils down to it, you either with one person or you with everybody. Open relationships, all those different categories, it don't mean nothing to me. It's either you mess with multiple people or you mess with one person, because one can switch very quickly. So you can be a swinger, and then you could be what you say, a relationship anarchy or something like that.
Relationship anarchy.
Yeah, you can go to either or at any given moment. Because I'm familiar with the swinger community. Like they literally somewhat ask for permission to mess with other people. But
Exactly.
then or get approval from their partner.
Yes.
That's their general rule, right?
Right.
But I've also seen where there's swingers that just basically say in front of their partner, "I'm finna fuck you." Like I've been told that by a female right in front of her boyfriend, and I'm just like feeling real awkward. Like, she's like, "Anson, I'm ready whenever you are." I'm like, "No, the fuck you not." Like, what are you talking about? Like, So in my eyes, unless she got permission before she said that, that's relationship anarchy based off your definition. So
it could be. It could be. And that's understandable. I know. Had that happened to me, I would probably be the same way. You was like, what?
What? In a room full of everybody, like we in the living room, everybody talking and laughing, and she just say that out of nowhere. Like, what are you talking about?
Hey.
So it's just like I was gonna say about the gay situation. It's 2 men and 1 woman, and they do some gay shit with each other. I don't look at no bisexual. It's either you doing gay shit or you not. So I don't give a damn about no bisexual. You can sit there and claim that, but if you do some gay shit, you do some gay shit.
And like I said, I no argument. I'm just trying to give a bigger perspective on that. And I think I can safely say, like I said, most of the men in here, like, we agree with that. That's a horse that don't need to be beat no more. Miss Marlene, you ready to unmute?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So to piggyback to what I think her name was Lavita about the Will Smith Jada, I had a question about that. So I remember when she was dealing with August Alsina, and they said the relationship was open and they said it was closed. So I was kind of confused on that.
Here's my take on that situation. They say they had an open relationship to kind of save face. He was probably doing his thing. She was probably doing her thing. They said they were on a break when she got with August Alsina, but that doesn't. And he might have understood the whole rules, but it goes back to the jealousy thing. You sitting here telling me you screwed another man, and the way he said I don't know how I got enough respect to talk to you. Now they worked it out because they obviously worked it out. But that was one of those things. Yeah, we say we're open, but are we really? Oh, I see. Go on, Razzle Dazzle. You got anything to add?
System detached garage.
Yeah, what's up, family? Hey, yeah, chilling. What I got to add to the flavor is I've been in some of them situations y'all spoke about, but it was I was in. I know y'all heard the term years ago. It ain't no fun unless your homie gets something, right? So what I've been with me and my homie, and we had a girl. You know what I mean? And but me and him didn't never do nothing. We just did things to her. You know what I mean? And so when you try and break down the definition of it, so I don't consider me as being gay by no means because another man was in the room. It just I wanted to have we pull her. And matter of fact, it was like I done it a lot, meaning I knew certain girls that would do certain things. So it was cool for me and my partner. I'll make a phone call and get her and let her do some things. So that's why I want to touch on that subject. But like you say, with the swingers, I knew years ago they was always saying the reason swingers do what they do is because they both kind of agree that they're not really ready to settle down, and they really know they still gonna be out there doing their thing. So they just say, well, let's just get somebody that we know, like the brother said, let's go to the club, or let's get somebody that we already know kind of like the mind state that we are, and then we'll get together and do it with them. And like the other brother said, matter of fact, you said the problem comes with I can't go get her unless he with me. We all got to be together as 4 people. I can't work. I can't go get the girl. You know what I mean? So that's the main thing. It's all about agreement. If everybody on the same page, everything understood don't need to be explained. So once we all agree that that's how it is, that's how it is. And it falls apart when I try to get with Aisha with homeboy at work.